I begin with an idea, and then it becomes something else. Picasso. What started as a documentary of a one-man art show became a video poem about disability. Some are born with disability, but most stumble into it on their way to something else. Why use subtitles? How could I not? My grandmother wore hearing aids. Now my daughter grows up closed captioned. Like subtitles in a foreign film, the disabled are aliens in their own country. But why extend the words over the paintings? Disability distorts our view of life. It gets in the way. Besides, poets like to see the words and their placement on the page. Why not scroll just for a few paintings? You don't get the picture. Disability just doesn't go away. Cabin 9. I pushed your wheelchair up and down bumpy sidewalks, venturing into Carmel's 60-plus art galleries and pastry shops, past flowers and more flowers, looking for happiness and finding it, mornings with Mike talking painting and relaxing at the end of the day in Cabin 9 with you.
I like flowers because they're pretty. I like them because they're out from outside, and I like to be outside. Yeah, I like to garden. Yeah, I can't garden the way I used to. I have to do with flower boxes now because I can't bend over or I'll fall down because I lose my balance.
Shades of blues. You stop, stoop, oh, to smell alyssum, with Canadian crutches, long stretched cerulean skirt, close to the ultramarine, cobalt and white overflow of the large earthen pot. Precarious balance, dancing the blues.
Getting my balance because my legs felt like sticks, like I was walking on boards with sticks, and I couldn't feel parts of the bottom of my feet, so I fell a lot.
Farmer's Market. Shiny green car, white in the sun, dappled black shadows across the pane, flowers orange, blue, white, magenta, in tins not quite stable, with floppy signs, prices to pay for brief beauty. Covered bicycle wagon, yellow and blue, from a distance, an umbrella and table, not what it seems. 3 people, not easily seen in the cacophony of color, under a canopy of umbrellas. Only my yellow butterfly, in her black baseball hat, balancing on her Canadian crutch, gay with flowers in the shade.
I have a central neuropathic pain from my second round of chemotherapy, and I had excruciating pain in my legs, my foot.
And that's constant?
Yes, it's nerve pain. There's nothing that helps it. And it never goes away.
But you don't look like you're in pain.
I'm going to cover it pretty well.
Gauze of sleep. Draped across the not-so-easy chair, your foot arched like a diver leaving the board. You, nocturnal witness to each passing hour, lie exhausted, thighs sizzled over chemo fire, finally sleeping, brief hiatus from interminable pain, bad tripped by that unbraced, dropped left foot when you dove into that empty MS pool.
I want to kill us both.
Because
I couldn't bear the thought of my daughter, my little girl, suffering. And I couldn't bear the thought of her never having a boyfriend because she's deaf.
But she has a boyfriend now?
Yeah, but that's not what I thought of when she was a baby.
And they said that she would never hear our voice, and they were wrong about that.
They were wrong about that, and they were wrong about me. So they didn't realize how much I would fight for him. And speech therapy and physical therapy and schools, everything.
So you've had 2 battles going on concurrently.
Physicians' predictions about your child and actually take them seriously. I think that they're predictions, but no one can predict the future. I mean, you might as well just call Miss Cleo, because my mom has had such a hard life that she is the person that deserves this least out of anybody I know. I mean, I wouldn't wish what happens to her on anybody because it's just so cruel, but you'd think after a while it would stop.
Oh, John, you little devil. What Daddy do? Oh, you fell down and went underwater, huh? Oh, yeah, you didn't like that. I don't blame you. I'm going to let you slip. Slip a little further. I got him. Hey.
The conversation. As thoughts bubble up hot tub of consciousness, Mother listens, hears what she was missing, unaided, to her daughter's past, future, present from that wet surrogate warmth of such closeness.
Jim was so happy. I made her proud again by saying, "My talking is my Christmas gift to you. I made her happy. I hope I made you happy too."
Ebonfine. They mocked your hearing aids and auditory trainer, drew caricatures of you, telling you to die. So you left that backward beach town, moved with your mother to Boulder. 17 months gone. I planned to come soon when the condo and the practice sold. So I never saw you grow up, time and water rushing through Ebonfine. When one sunny afternoon you leaned against that tree, not me.
And I saw those pictures. It all came back. It was very depressing. But then I just had to kind of remind myself how far I've come and how many friends I have, and true friends, not just, bullshit friends. When you have a disability, it feels like you're being punished and you don't know what you've done wrong. My mom and I driving out here and being on our own and sticking to it, going to garage sales every single day, to try to find furniture, just to start a whole new life together. It just really brought my mom and I closer. And so our relationship is that much stronger that we have that to tie back on. And I think as a family, it's brought us a lot closer. I mean, I'm closer with my parents than I think most kids are. I mean, I could tell them pretty much anything.
Seamstress. Gravity of lines, non-Euclidean parallels point to your needle. Thread stretched, cuffs on chinos, very long. You sit, solid on the floor, backed by yellow flowered sofa, balanced by firelight dancing, TV news ignored, to your concentration.
I had so many surgeries, 10 of them, and I couldn't hear, and I didn't really like sign language because not a lot of people knew it, and it took too much time to write stuff down, and so eventually I just learned to pick up the language, pick up lip reading.
Do you remember what it was like when you could hear with 2 ears?
I don't remember. This ear has always been dead as far as I can remember. One of the operations was supposed to try to make my hearing better. I ended up losing all of my hearing.
Daughter. The moon shines across the water, but you are the light this evening, high above the city. Dressed in white top and blue jeans, hair coiffed in a ponytail, calm, assured, looking far off to your future. Woman now. Like a Picasso painting in his blue period. Or was it Rose, before he fractured portraits like broken glass, mirroring an era of 100 isms, before the picture plane and the jazz age became shallow? You look down, to the side, like the old guitarist, the nude in the blue room, the woman ironing, no longer my little girl, coming of age, deep in thought. The thinker. Not of the heroic age chiseled in stone, larger than life, but water on paper, frontal, naked, tired, hungry, broke, in the full monte, motionless, for rent money. While eyes traced this, his body with pencils, sketchy, unclear boundaries, rough edges, dripping uncertainty, bespotted in a world of unkind choices.
It affects so many other things. Like, I mean, I'll be in the shower at the dorm, and some of my other friends will come in, and they'll start talking to me, but I won't know that they're talking to me because I can't wear my hearing aid in the shower, or I can't wear my hearing aid around any amount of water, and I can't because I could blow my hearing, and my hearing is something that's more important than that. But I've always wanted to learn how to scuba dive. I don't know, it's just, but I can't. That's something I can never do. I'll snorkel probably, but I really wanted to scuba dive, and I have to tell my boyfriend that we can't take scuba diving classes because I can't go. I haven't told him that yet because I don't really want to tell him because he's really looking forward to it. It's just little things, you know. You don't even think that they would affect you, but they do. Something as stupid as scuba diving.
That if you can't do everything everybody else can do.
Yeah, and the thing is that you get fooled because there's so many. I forget sometimes that I have a disability because I've made it so that other people around me don't know. I mean, they know, everybody knows. All my friends know, but they forget.
Mm-hmm.
My best friend forgets all the time. You know, it's just when you're fooled into thinking that everything is fine, and then you get a reminder every single night when you have to turn all the sounds off and you have to go to sleep. I mean, that's a pro sometimes, is that I don't have to. I can just hear. You know, I could just turn off my hearing aid whenever I need to, and I can just not hear. But you just get fooled. I mean, you have one good day and you think, well, maybe this is it. You know, I don't have to worry about it anymore, and then you just get hit right back down again when you're told you can't do something else.
Mm.
It's hard sometimes.
Oh, sweetie. I love you so much.
Oh, too dear. But yeah, I need to tell Alex that.
Rebirth of Venus. Goddess of off the half shell, she walks on water not. Wave wader into morning, naked as a tropical fish, returning to sea, while earth wakes to Wednesday. at the marina. While boats in quiet chaos wait and flags droop, my sister eases Diane forward in her wheelchair across the boardwalk. They read the menu in the sun as my mother in her late 80s, who sees only shadows, moves out of the picture. Freddie and me. We walked together, you with your body skewed like a car that crabs along the road after being hit from the side. You who were dragged by a reckless bicyclist that yanked our leash 8 feet. Though you seemed dead, you survived the ICU body shop, but lost that left eye. Now you look around a cataract, too friendly to a cat, in your other eye. So you sniff our way along the path, and cannot see mountains or sky.
But he's been with me and been loyal to me the whole time I've been in wheelchairs. Remember when I was a quad, he used to just sit on my lap, stay with me. He knew when I wasn't feeling good. He knew when I was. He seems to know when I'm crying to come over. Yeah, he's a special dog.
Looking for nuggets. Though I never panned for gold in these Colorado hills, prospectors' picks and shovels long gone, I did find one huge nugget shining in the sun next to a cold mountain stream. Took it home in my camera, deadpanned it on canvas. Now, some of the paintings I did of landscapes and things like that, I cope by leaving the situation and getting into the landscape or getting into the painting process, or a way of getting away from it. And other times, those same things are a way to get into what I'm dealing with. Falling for Godot. Between paraplegia and foot drop, you stand beside 3 pillars, Father, Son, and Holy, deaf as a post. No support. Fall from gracefulness. Yearning from empty Gloucester restaurant. Job undone. Glass tables, red and green plastic chairs, vacant. October sailboat leaves shore to unknown seas more than we know. Stuck in a black hole. Time stopped. Write poems. Stay inches above the raw. The birds may twitter, for they're not bitter. They have come to terms with eating worms. It's for the birds. waiter. While diners converse behind flower facades of the outdoor restaurant, eat under square umbrellas that linger for sun to break through clouds, pause for rain or drizzle, you look far off over the stair-stepped Quebec City. Wait for the evening crowd to come. Wait for your semester grades. Wait for your girlfriend to make up her mind. Wait for a cure. Wait.
All these stairs, these cement stairs going down to the water where the big ships were parked. And I remember walking up all those steps.
Ebb tide. Tide is out, land is large, life wiggles, wriggles only in tide pools. Deserted cabin with summer porch, high on a cliff, awaits winter storms. No one walks the beach this gray, cohasset day. I remember rocks under tender feet, learning to make my way, to swim in icy June water.
Why do you think water is so important to you?
I grew up near the water, and so it's always been a part of me. And so wherever I go, I seem to be looking for the water. I think water represents a number of things to me. And one of the things I think probably is that there's layers of meaning underneath. There's something underneath the water. And kind of like the unconscious, the psychological structure of the unconscious.
Palace of Fine Arts. Were they looking at the fountain, or the rotunda beyond, or just remembering 1906 quake and fire, San Francisco restored, 1915 World's Fair, Panama Pacific Exhibition, while war waged half a world away, maybe thinking of Surratt, age 25, 7 years to live, took 2 years to paint another Sunday afternoon on the Isle of La Grande Jatte, where Parisians looked across water, statuesque figures in poses as classic as these Roman arches, fashioned years later. Faux peace, faux settings, tiny eyes in the storms of time. Gold Coast. California gold panned out in the interior hills, money now in Carmel homes overlooking the Pacific. So one late afternoon I put a canvas on an easel and painted the Big Sur coast, where surf crashed into cliffs and cashed in on rays of gold. San Francisco Bay diptych. Did you ever wonder why the cargo bin was empty when your ship came in? No criminal, ever kind. Maybe you were a pirate on a three-master, before birth, before your fractured life. Imprisoned, want escape, across water to real life. Only get parole between quadriplegia and paraplegia, California coast, Quebec City, the mountains, or the beach. Illusions of vacation from the job of Job. Smile, wear makeup, hide your pain. Try to keep balance. Don't make others uncomfortable. No rebirth, not what it seems. Might have been better in Alcatraz.
I was hit by a cement truck and broke my neck and had to have 2 anterior cervical neck fusions with rods and plates and screws, etc., put in my back, and that led to a real downhill physiological time for my body. I was, and it made my MS worse.
What was the worst time for you?
And so many of them on my show. I guess the worst time was after my first chemotherapy treatment, which was inpatient and lasted 6 weeks in reverse isolation. I remember somebody on the staff pushed my wheelchair into the room I would have, and they said they'd be back, and I sat in that wheelchair for an hour because I couldn't move it. I couldn't use my arms or my hands. I was quadriplegic by then. And I remember sitting there just crying.
So you were a quadriplegic then?
Right.
Could you do anything with your body?
No.
Nothing?
Nothing. I couldn't eat. I couldn't dress myself. I couldn't wipe myself or go to the bathroom by myself. I was able to come back from being a quad through a lot of very hard work and both in physical therapy and cognitive therapy and speech therapy and every kind of therapy you could name.
Blind. Your father, his corneas burned by a midwife, took a tramp steamer to China, pulled the wrong switch, stopped the ship. My mom, retinas detached, couldn't hear. Her MD son and daughter's recommendation for surgery. Hard not to believe she was blinded by her faith. You lost your vision just before the wedding. Wasn't only your glasses that seemed cloudy. Now Freddie bangs into crutches. You left out of his vision on his left. I did not notice these 2 pelicans flying over rocks till my 10-power lens picked them out. In your wheelchair, you're invisible. Others pass on by, unconscious as the sea.
I was driving across the city to borrow some dishes for our wedding reception, and I kept thinking my sunglasses were dirty because I wasn't seeing well, and by the time I got back to the house, I had lost all my color vision completely, and all these paintings were on the wall, and they were all in black and white. And then they were not even visible to me.
The harpist. Hidden in shadows, focused on plucking colored strings, red, blue, white, so deep into the mantra of his music, meandering shoppers of Quebec City Art District at the periphery of his vision blur into a kaleidoscope of color.
Well, when I play the piano, it's sort of a, almost I get into an altered state. It's like a meditation. And there's something about meditating through my music that sort of restores something.
Backlit poet, 3 a.m. Out of darkness comes light. Through orchids, translucent. Throne, thrust toward existence. Sartre. Painter hurls pigment onto canvas, communes with colors, potter emerges. Rose-red pot, his wheel whirls, spins galaxies, stars, planets, black holes, thrusts us from primal soup with inscriptions, tossed in a bottle, too wet to read.
Poetry helps me, something like in a therapy relationship in which the therapist sort of is a container for the feelings so that the person can express the feelings and stay with them. I think the poem does the same kind of thing for me.
Collage with plastic grapes. Collapsed brick stone hedge. Druidic true lies. Lies on cloth-covered table. Orange, onion, flowers, and garlic. Where reality is illusion is the reality. And on the surface, plastic, purple grapes lie. Lies still. Still life is good and full of color.
I don't think we're going to be able to use any of this.
What helps you cope?
What helps me cope? I don't know, trying to laugh at the whole thing. I know some of my poetry is rather nonsensical and meaningless.
The White House. When the roof leaks sunshine, negative space becomes positive, and all is bright. Van Gogh's primitive colors and thick lines, now elongated, turn shadows into light.
In Amy's case, initially, she was very much rejected because she was different. And perhaps it was the age that she was at, but she definitely was rejected. And the little fighter that she was, she would fight back and got herself alienated from her older classmates. But gee, she had started class a year earlier because we thought she would lose all her hearing and would only be able to read. So we taught her to read sooner. But eventually, she's learned to overcome it, and I think she has a lot of friends. And currently, she's a social chairman of her sorority. In your case, though, I think the friends that you've had have been there have been a few friends that sort of stayed with you over the time, but the majority of them have disappeared, and it's been hard for you to find new ones.
Shopping for jewels. Visitors rarely visit, disability being too chronic for contemporary tastes. So you venture out in your wheelchair, dressed in pink, with a white bandana-wrapped hat, to the outdoor market, looking for gems of conversation among the vendors, while others look on. She says they stole several pieces, do it in groups. One distracts, others remove jewelry. You muse, no longer come in groups. MS took my piece, distracted me from living. I want to steal my life back. Diamond. Why?
That's why.
Why not?
That's good.
Tie the knot.
I love you too.
That binds in sickness and in health. Helps us see when blind to forest and to trees.
And you're my soulmate.
Creates meaning from drips and spatters.
You're my soulmate too, sweetie.
Holds our hands when we walk through shadows. Flies with us to another realm that brings us to the shadow side of ourselves.
Like a diamond shining in the light, its many facets reflect back to us unknown dimensions of ourselves. Love.
Little pointers. You were there on my back doorstep, did not move when I approached. So I picked you up in my winter gloves, brought you to the warmth inside. You sat motionless in my hand, looked at me knowingly. We took your picture with Freddie, who, almost blind, got to point like the bigger dogs. I told Diane this bird must be a good omen, coming the day before my one-man show. I exhibited 78 paintings from a lifetime of work. Many came to the show, but none sold that night. The next week I gave a poetry reading to a small gathering, took the chance to tell our story in poems with paintings. Let them here bear the anguish of living with disability, Diane's attempt to sing in her birdcage, Amy's tilting to the left to listen, sensory mirror to Freddie, who barely sees with his right eye. Today one painting sold. As I tried to sleep, I pondered the meaning of the last several days. Was it selling, sharing, or trying to make lemonade when you can't even find the sugar? I thought of the little bird who came to our crankin' house at 1709 Hillside, who seemed to know this was the place to come. This little bird sat upon my fingers, still as a monk, till I put it down outside. To my surprise, it flew up into our tree that is braced against the wind and emerges through a hole in our deck. I then realized all this was not the point.